Hello, beautifuls and beloveds. How are you? I haven't been closing with my little kiss and wave. So, everything is actually, I don't know how to say it. It's going. Well, is it going well? That's the question. So, Scheherazade, a modern day slavery tale, part 2. This is it. So, guys, the red ribbons was meant as a symbol to show that I actually undid this, and I showed forgiveness. That is what it was meant to be all about. And is there a whole bunch of Christianity and religiosity in it? No. There can be. If that's what you want to do with it, go for it. That's my own private thing. Because I'm still wrestling with that whole Catholicism thing and the patron saint and protect me, you know. It can set up a child to not believe and trust in Jesus or the Lord. But I'm here to tell you that, you know, obviously I did. And that was because of my husband. And bless his soul and his heart for wanting to make sure that I knew the Lord. And on our wedding day, that is when I accepted Christ into my heart, God into my heart, like for real, and not just going through the motions or emotions of going to church on Saturday evening or Sunday, whenever you go. So, this, you guys know what this is, right? It's cat's cradle. Cup and saucer, bowl and saucer, whatever. You could do cat whiskers. Wait a minute. How do you do that? That's not it. Hold on. I forgot how to do that one. But there's a whole bunch of these that you do. Remember when you were a kid? Maybe not. Kids don't play anymore. They pick up their flippin' phones. But we used to play. And we used to do things like cat's cradle. And, you know, you play with your partner. And then they take and they do the opposite movement or what have you. But anyway, all of this is very much tied to childhood. Not only because, you know, there's cat's cradles, there's tying the bows, there's all these cute, beautiful little things that were supposed to be, in our case, and what I meant it for, was good. And then here you come along with these other people who have more money than us and saying, hey, you know what, that's a really great idea, cherry picking from all of my stuff and coming up with this thing and movements, and it's just evil. There's no forgiveness in it, no solution. It's like, and again, you know that I'm not for women being raped. You know that. I just don't want my stuff being gleaned from to come up with it. You know, why don't you pay me and say, hey, we want to do this, why don't you tailor it for us? Because it was an atrocious mess. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
It was just like, oh my gosh. It was vindictive. It was, instead of what I was doing and have been doing all along with Red Ribbons, it was to help other people take that first step to be free from the memory of it. It was to learn how to forgive. Not go out there and persecute and draw and quarter the people who did this to you. Obviously, it is horrible, and I don't condone it, and there has to be a restitution or punishment or something. But geez, two wrongs don't make a right. At all. There has to be some balance given, and there was none. If somebody were to ask me, hey, how would you promote this and do it? I would never have done what they did. Obviously, because they were gleaning from me, but I would never have marketed it that way. It's like, oh my God, you're basically just, well, look for yourselves and see what happened. It didn't go well. I don't think so. And all you did was make people sick and tired of it. That's terrible. Because now real people who've had this stuff done to them. It's hard. It really is a hard issue. It's a heartbreaking issue. You know, we made that one documentary and narrative film, Baby Does Heartbeat. That was all about pregnant women having children and putting them in trash cans, trying to flush them down toilets, sewers, drainage pipes. We did extensive research. We interviewed women. We interviewed somebody who actually did it, and they went to jail for a long time. It was very, very sad. She was in a position, a very bad position, and you know, our hearts went out to the mother, but what about the child? So it's almost the same situation too, you know. But you can't, criminals are criminals. You can't wink at that. You have to have some form of judgment or restitution, and it's a very hard thing. I get it. Oh my heart breaks. I know you hear me saying, okay, I want to get in a boxing ring with y'all. You do know my sense of humor, right? I hope you understand it. I could be very sarcastic, but I use hyperbole and I use alliteration like that. But, you know, the heart is still in it too, to where I'm like, I genuinely like a lot of people very easily. But I can't anymore because look what happened. And anyway, the whole thing with all these movements gleaning off of my stuff, I still have my stuff, I'm still using it, and you're getting called out in public if you use my stuff in public. That's all. We're going to show people how it's similar. We're going to say, hey, you're gleaning from here, 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 and here. Why are you doing this? You don't even have the right terms and definitions being used. So, here's the thing with all this anti-trafficking thing. We're anti-trafficking the children. We are against trafficking children. I hope that's very clear. And it's all tied up into the Red Ribbons movement. That is what Red Ribbons mean. It is turning everything from tragedy into triumph, fixing the problem. That's what we've been doing all along, and everybody else just trying to, oh, look at this story, she gave an interview for this paper, and oh, that's good, let's take that, and oh, wait, she does. And then all of a sudden they've got this thing and they think they've packaged it right, and I'm like, you know what? I just got to go like this and unravel it, and it's a horrible, horrible thing that was done. Not only to me. My stuff was not out there for you guys to cherry pick, glean, steal verbatim, none of that. And, you know, and you did it, and a lot of people got caught, and we just sent it in to various places that are bigger and more powerful than these corporations who have gone out of control. Not everybody, obviously. Not all corporations are doing this, but certain ones. And you got caught. Modern day slavery. I did not choose to be your ghost writer, ghost choreographer, ghost dancer, ghost whatever. Okay? Screw that. I am not getting paid. I don't live well. I'm being punished. And I didn't do a damn thing wrong. I didn't even know these people. That's how bad this is. And then these people trying to backpedal, putting people in my life, trying to say all this stuff about coincidence, and I'm like, kiss it, we already have evidence. Right about that?
Yep.
Yeah, coincidence, my ass. We have so much on video, we have so much paperwork, we have so much. We have so much. So anyway, yeah, you know, good that you want to stop trafficking little children, but let's stop saying it's about teenagers. Again, teenagers are too high of a risk for these people to be using. Now, there is prostitution rings, and they choose to do it. We saw it actually happening. Remember when we couldn't find any place to live when we first came out here?
Yeah.
And this guy had 2 teenagers, maybe 14 years old, on his arm, and we were in the other, like their headboard was against our headboard, and I'm like, in a motel, and I'm like, oh my God. And I said, something is wrong. That does not sound like an older woman having relations with a guy. We called up right away. I don't know whatever happened to it, but we definitely reported it because that was, I'm like, holy crap, that's obviously not okay. You know, so that's a prostitution ring of some sort. It's at least prostitution. And can that be a part of, you know, child trafficking? Well, sure, it can be, but that's not the thing. Look at it legally, what the term means. You know, trafficking is taking somebody or something, moving it. Illegal substances, illegal actions. So, you know, drugs are trafficked all the time. Hence the word trafficking. So that's a huge mistake that these people are making. Don't just label it trafficking. You know what? It's too late. You guys already shine the light on your whatever you want to call it, and we're already doing this. It's not that other people can't do it, but it's like, this is, just leave our stuff alone already, you know. And red is starting to get to, is it an overused color in marketing now? Thanks a lot, people. Thanks a lot. Yeah. And it's really interesting. Somebody put a whole bunch of, remember those X's?
Yeah.
That's a little creepy and scary. It means death. It really does. It's the symbolism and all this stuff. I'm just getting really, 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 really tired of it. We have photographs of it. Oh, and somebody drew in pink. You know how I wear my pink outfit when I do the bee-fly dance, right? Silent Rose. And then somebody's traced an outline of a dead woman out in our courtyard. Remember that one?
Yeah.
We have photos of that too. And I was like, that's not a kid playing around with pink chalk, because I teach children and they don't have enough coordination to do that. It was made to look like a child did it. And I'm like, no, those lines are, that's an adult trying to think like a child and draw like a child and make it look like that. Very disturbing. I'm not kidding. All this stuff is, you know, our courtyard, backyard, back patio, front patio. It's like all these little hint droppy things. I'm like, oh, that's interesting with these X's. And I'm like, well, yeah, you wish. We already had those accidents. There's several other ones. Looking back, it's amazing. It's like, oh my God. I'm playing my red ribbons. Anyway, guys. Yeah. So, modern day slavery has to have some kind of form of not only happening in modern times, but it has to be done in a new way, a modern way, just like Super J over here said. I thought that was a very brilliant way to explain it. Thank you. Do you mind if I...
Yeah.
Okay. See, get permission, people. Using a form of technology. This is a modern day form of slavery. Do you guys understand it? Using our devices, which we thought were not tainted with surveillance crap, and using it against us, or using it to glean. In my case, it's storytelling, because we know where it ends up. It ends up in stories. News stories, media, cinema, you name it. And it's really disgusting. So I'm not getting paid for it. I never agreed to it. And no one can say, oh, well, look here, because we called up somebody who, he said, make sure that this and this is GSA, whatever, and he was going to analyze our phone. And I'm like, you want me to pay what to analyze my phone? I can do that for free. Thank you very much. You know, it shows who accessed your, what do you call it, your microphone, what app accessed your microphone, what app accessed your pictures. That's a no-brainer. Anybody can do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it here, but, you know, and it's not even doing anything illegal to the phone or something like that. And so we figured out how to do that too for free. And they wanted to charge me this, and he says, you do know you give them permission to do that? I was like, no. Not knowing that my husband is studying to be an attorney to pass a bar, but also not knowing that my stepfather is an attorney, and that I'm also now studying law too, thanks to these idiots who are harming us. So I'm like, no, you can't. That goes against anybody's constitutional rights or civil rights and privacy. Major privacy violations. So if anybody tells you that, tell them to stick it where the sun doesn't shine, because that's not the case at all. They are not allowed to use any words or anything you say in private for anything. They basically have to stop up their ears, and that's as far as it goes. You know, all these apps, all these devices and things like that, they can't use it for anything at all. So don't let anybody tell you that. So that's also what my red ribbon stands for. I'm the poster child for anti-modern day slavery. That is exactly what this is. Modern day technology used against me to enslave me so people can make money and creative content and all this stuff off of me. Yeah. Pretty much sums it up pretty good.
I agree.
So, I'm not your Scheherazade. I'm not your mermaid. I'm my own mermaid, okay? Thank you very much. Oh boy, do we have pictures to show you. Very interesting things that we found recently. And, you know, Mr. Spelling, Aaron Spelling that is, he was my boss for a time. And God rest his soul, God bless him. I know people had issue with him. I didn't personally. It doesn't mean that I would condone anything that he had done to other people that was rotten and nasty. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, for me, he seemed to really genuinely like me and protect me. Why? I don't know. I don't know. There's so much I don't know. There's a lot I know, but there's so much I don't know. But he always told me that I had to protect myself. I had to protect everything about me. Not just my talent, that too, but everything. Because there wasn't anything about me that wasn't marketable, usable. Yeah, and watch my videos and you'll see exactly what he saw too. There's a lot to me. And that's what these people look for. And we have found so much that dates way back. So, modern day slavery, what was the tool used before all of this digital internet, app, phone, whatever stuff happened? Well, let me tell you something. We had phones. We had a lot of things. And things were just used not in the right way against us. Photo lab, developing labs. What are they called? Photo labs, right?
Yeah.
You get your pictures developed. You know, the analog way, the old-fashioned way where you have negatives. So I'm like, how would they have accessed? Because this was stuff I didn't put on the internet, and some of it happened before the internet was really big. And I was like, oh my. I took photos, because I also did photography. I do a lot of things, guys. Like I said, there's very little that I'm not good at. I'm not bragging. It's just, I just love everything, and I just want to try and do everything. And I do know what I'm not good at, and I don't mess with that stuff, but I don't doubt that people can't find that within themselves too. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm sad that a lot of my family members passed on, but they left behind jewels for me, and I'm like, holy crap. It makes so much sense now, and it's really not that complicated to figure out. So, modern day slavery is basically what is happening to me. Modern day slavery meaning a modern day tool like electronics, digital, etc., being used against me to enslave me against my will. These people know where I go. These people know when I arrive because helicopters show up and they encircle us or they fly overhead. Did you see those videos? I mean, we have evidence. It's like, this has never happened to me before. And it doesn't matter where I go. It's there. I'm like, hi guys, what do? You wave, you make fun of it, you video it, of course, so you have more evidence. It's just, after a while, it's like, can they make themselves more obvious? It's not making them look good. Let's just put it that way. They look really, really bad right now. And I can't say anything, do anything without these people knowing. That's slavery. I don't have any freedom. I can't hire anybody without their approval. Why? Because they keep putting me into, and my family, into a marketing funnel. You know, the good old days when you had phone books and you could just look things up. Nobody knew what you were searching. You just call people up, you connect that way. It was a lot more discreet. But now, every search engine, you're looking for an attorney, you're looking for a bookkeeper, you're looking for whatever, you know, and we're in this marketing funnel and we're being directed a certain way. And you know, they like to use that whole thing, it's like, well, we like to be area specific. It's like, oh really? Then why is it when I use somebody else's device, we get different results in the same area? Methinks not. So, you know, you put things together. 2 and 2 equal 4. In my case, sometimes it equals 10. Math, oh please. It's very obvious these people are just making so many mistakes. They're getting sloppier and sloppier. They're getting lazier and lazier, and they're getting more desperate. And that's why you've got this thing as a marketing thing. That's really bad, people. Don't do that. So I'm gonna make a lot of noise about that. I'm very offended, and it's kind of scary, especially what's going on and what we've uncovered. So that's very interesting to me, the whole thing. So yeah, modern day slavery. And anything that I buy, they know. If I buy something online, they know. If I consume something, they know because they look in our trash. Remember that it was a really beautiful woman, and she was dressed like she was homeless, but I could tell by her skin she wasn't. I was like, oh, it's another actor. Remember that?
Yeah, I
She
do.
was really beautiful though. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. And I said, can I help you? Do you need anything? I felt really bad. And she was going through our trash to see what we consume. So we did a little experiment. So then all of a sudden, all these people in this complex started putting their trash in tied bags, and you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And packaging it. And I had never seen that before. I was like, that's weird. I mean, I've seen people just tie something, you know, if you use a grocery bag and then dump it in the trash bin, trash dumpster. But then I started seeing all this other stuff wrapped, packaged. I'm like, are they gonna mail this? What? But they were doing it. This is how intense this modern day slavery and corporate call-outs, the spying is going. They know who each unit is using what product. So you know that old wives' tale about movie stars and people having, go through their trash? You guys do understand what that is. It's really not fans going through the trash. This has been going on a long time. They just decided to give me the star treatment. Let's put it that way. This I know about because of my boss and several other bosses I've had. But it's a means of control. It's a means to find out, well, because, a lot of people do product placement and advertising and commercials, and they want to see if they're being true to the branding and what they do or don't consume. And some people are under contract, so that was a way to keep track of things. Spying, basically. And it's not fans, it's people who are hired to do this kind of stuff. And yes, I do know this firsthand. Now it's being done to me, but I also knew it firsthand because of who I worked for. I remember, because I did a lot of the production stuff, that was what I was best at, so I really wasn't a secretary, but, production secretary, production administrator, I don't know what you want to call it, but it was just production. I wasn't a production assistant, that's different, because I did do some administrative stuff as well, but I was just, production secretary is what they used to call it. They don't call it that anymore because people don't like that term. But when we had to do lunch, if we bought it from a place, we had to unpackage it, and I was like, why do we have to do this? It seemed stupid to me. So they had to sit down and tell me why. I always ask why. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because, people like to take photos of people doing something or catch them in the act. And if they're holding somebody else's brand up and they sign a contract using that brand on TV, it can null and void their contract, and then you have another problem. And if it gets out in the media, say, hey, this person isn't staying true to their contract. And so we had to completely unpackage everything. And so I know this for sure. And it was just a cover-up to make it seem more normal that, oh yeah, fans are going through garbage. And I'm not saying fans haven't done that, but I was always thinking, why would fans actually go through garbage?
Yeah.
And how would they know that that was that person using that product? And the corporations know. They know how to do it. But we figured it out, and we were watching one night, and I'm like, that's how. So we figured that out. Yeah, so they decided to give me the star treatment in a sense. Nice, huh? So there's a lot of this nasty, horrible stuff that's been going on for a long time. But to equate it to the modern day and age, these machines and devices that we use, I don't like them. Not like that. In the right hands, these are really great tools. But I haven't seen them with good positive output because of what's been happening to me, to us, my family. And then I was like wondering why. This is very weird. This is another thing that started tipping us off. When we were planning to go back east to do our show, The Empowered Woman, it was Awakenings and Beginnings International Dance Festival, special edition. That's a mouthful, huh?
Yeah.
But that's what it was. And it's very successful, beautiful. People there were very receptive to our red ribbons, probably because that's not being done in that area. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Because we had people who were Westerners at the show. So it's not, West Coast has a different mentality than East Coast with entertainment. It had nothing to do with that. It's just, well, obviously, look at the border. It's over here in California, what else? Texas, Nevada, Arizona area, right? So, oh, that's why they want to flip Texas.
Got the border.
Okay. This has nothing to do with illegal immigration that we're talking about now. This is the child trafficking issue. Okay, so that's another thing.